Welcome to Streams of Income with self-help author Ryan Rieger. For the next hour, you'll hear proven methods for how to live the multiple income streams dream. Ryan is passionate about helping others discover their gifts and start their own business. He's published 5 books, and his courses and group coaching programs have changed the lives of thousands of students all over the world. Ryan's books include Private Label, The Easy Way, Finding Your Grace Place, and his latest, Streams of Income. And now, here's your host, Ryan Rieger.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Streams of Income radio show. I'm your host, Ryan Rieger. Flying solo today, no guests, just have something on my heart that I wanted to share with you regarding what in the world would people pay me for? So that's a question I hear people ask in different ways. They're all asking the same thing, and it's basically, I want to create a business out of something that I'm passionate about, something I'm interested in, but I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to take this thing that I love to do and turn it into income. Or maybe they're in a boat, and sometimes it's this way, where they aren't even sure exactly that topic. They're not sure what they're passionate about. They're not sure what in the world they have that the world would be interested in. Well, I can tell you, everybody has something. You have an interest, you have a topic, you have a passion, you have something inside of you that people will pay you for. And I want to help break down some barriers, break down some mindsets, negative mindsets you might have regarding this. First, I want to tell you about something that Greg Perry and Greg was on the episode last week, and we kind of hinted at something that we're working on. And it's actually mostly his content, but I'm partnering up with him to create a treasure hunting profits course. And we're going to talk about it on June 3rd, totally free webinar. Come check it out. Wednesday, June the 3rd, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a free webinar. We're going to learn a lot on the free webinar. If you decide to join us for the course, great. If not, that's fine too. But I'll have a link in the show notes. It's going to be about finding products at garage sales, thrift stores, estate sales. Greg does a lot of garage sales and estate sales and sells it on eBay. So essentially, it's going to be a course about using eBay. We don't talk a lot about eBay on this podcast because mostly Amazon. Most of my students sell on Amazon, but Greg is killing it on eBay, and eBay is still very much a viable model. So join us for that. The link will be in the show notes. This is episode number 42. Just go to streamsofincomeradio.com. So guys, excited to chat with you about give you some confidence about that you do have something that the world will pay you for. We'll dig into that right after this short message. All right, guys, welcome back. So excited to get into this. I have several things that I want to get into, several things that I want to lay out, and because it's just been on my heart lately. I see emails, I see you talking to people in my Facebook groups. Sometimes, guys, it's just basically they're lacking the confidence that what they have is valuable. And you might have a desire to start a business or add a stream of income from something that you know, from an experience you've had. You want to teach people something. Maybe you want to coach them in something. Maybe you lost some weight and you want to become a fitness coach, show people how you did that, but you just have no idea how to start. You might think it's already been done. There's already a million fitness coaches out there, already a million fitness books and courses. And guys, yes, there are, but there are none from your perspective. And that's what makes this unique. And that's why the world needs exactly what you have. And so I'll dig into that, but I just want to instill some confidence in you in this episode. I want to tell you some stories about me and some other people that have broken through this barrier and are now doing very well selling information. Information has an infinite rate of return. We talk about on this podcast selling on Amazon, and folks do well when they're making, they might make as much as 100% ROI or more, return on investment, or even more. Overall, their business, most people are doing between 25 and 50%, depending on, if they're outsourcing or if they're doing this all alone. But information has an infinite rate of return. You can write a book, you can create a course, and it can continue to sell over and over and over again. And that's the beauty of it. But also, guys, it's a way to serve people in just a different way. It's a way to add streams of income into your business and do something that you really love. I have a lot of people who are Amazon sellers in my audience, and they're doing well, but it's just not the thing that they love to do. It's not, it's providing, it's doing well for them. They're super thankful for it, but for them, it's like, I just don't love selling on Amazon. And I get that. They want to create a business around something they're passionate about. And I love to chat about this topic, and that's what we're going to dig into today. So if you're struggling, if you've been thinking, gosh, I would love to create an income from something that I'm passionate about, something that I'm interested in, a topic that I can talk about for hours, well, you're in the right place, because we're going to dig into that now. But if you're struggling about the confidence thing, you just don't feel like, that what you have is valuable, or you're not sure what that thing even is, just hang on tight. We're going to dig into this. But I want to give you some examples. First of all, just to let you know, pull back the curtain on my own journey. I have wanted to be an entrepreneur for a very long time. I started, kind of piddling around even back in elementary school with different projects and things, and in high school even. But I read my friend and mentor Jim Cockrum's book, Silent Sales Machine. Awesome book, guys. I'll have the link in the show notes. But that really got the entrepreneur fire burning inside of me. And so that's been a while, but it wasn't until 2008 that I was able to make that leap, make that jump. Essentially, I was shoved into it when I lost my job at the end of '08. I was working for a political campaign, and I've shared this story. If you go back to episode 1, you can hear more of my story. But I read his book, and obviously he talks about selling physical products, and I've been doing that. But I really was intrigued about this whole idea of creating an income from something that's up here, from my knowledge, turning my interest into income, turning my wisdom into wealth, if you another way to put it. But I had no idea what in the world people would pay me for. I didn't think that anything that I had learned, anything that I had experienced, anything I knew was valuable. I'd been selling online, but there's a million courses about how to sell products online. We were selling on Craigslist, but didn't really feel like that was the fit. A course on Craigslist, we could have done that, but it just didn't seem right. And so I just kept praying about it and waiting. And one day I stumbled across, we were selling wholesale furniture on Craigslist, selling it on eBay and on Amazon as well. We would buy it wholesale, sell it retail. But I stumbled across a website online that allowed folks to register for an account in one location, and then they were able to have access to all these essentially wholesale companies. So it was one website with multiple, it was a couple hundred wholesale companies underneath this one umbrella. So you could create one account, and it allowed you to access all those companies' products, place orders, and all that. The beauty of that is, if you've not done wholesale before, wholesale can be very tedious. Emailing each company, calling each company. This essentially was one place to go and have 200 or so wholesale companies right at your fingertips. So I thought that would be super valuable information. That's when the light bulb went off in my brain. I thought, wow, I've stumbled across something I think other sellers would be interested in. So what I did next was I told Jim Cockrum about it. Jim was, I knew, just created that relationship with him just right before that. And so I told him, hey, I really think this is something that your audience would be interested in. Bear in mind, guys, at the time I had no audience. Nobody knew who I was. I had some knowledge. He had the audience. So one thing that when you're trying to create a business out of something that out of some interest that you have, you got to know who is your audience, where are they hanging out online, how can you get in front of them, who are those gatekeepers. If you don't have a list currently, if you don't own a Facebook group, you're not involved in those things yet, you don't have those assets yet, it's okay. Find the people that do and partner with them in a creative way. Create a win-win-win that, like Jim talks about in his book, So it's a win for that audience because you're providing them valuable content. It's a win for the gatekeeper. In this case, it was Jim, because all he had to do was send an email out to his list, and he made money because we split the profits of the book. And it was a win for me because I immediately made some income and also started growing my list. So we created a triple way win out of it. So when you're starting with something and you're just starting out, you got to find your audience. You got to figure out who they are, where they're hanging out online, and who's in charge of that audience, and get to know them, build those relationships, and serve that audience in a way that makes them want more of what you have. So we launched that book. We called it Real Wholesale Sources. And guys, all it was pretty much a list of the links. It was a list of the company's names with a short description of what they sold and with a link to it. So it was an ebook, and people could click right on it, go right to that site, create that one account, and then have access to all those other companies. It was awesome. It did very, very, very well. And it kind of put my name on the map as somebody who has information of selling on Amazon. I became the wholesale guy. I had no desire to become the wholesale guy, but that's what it did for me. It gave me credibility because I had written a book. And so I must know something if I've written a book. And so that just was a huge blessing to my business. And guys, I was hooked because for the first time, I was able to make money on something that, was up here in my head that I had learned, some trick I found, some hack I learned. And it also brought me Swiss dollars, as my friend Dan Miller says, which are sales while I sleep soundly. Beautiful, because I could be in bed 3 a.m. and a sale comes in and an order is placed and I get paid from it. Guys, you can do the exact same thing. And I'll ask you some questions a little bit later on to get your brain thinking about what that might be for you. And then private label. So here's another example in my own experience. So I took a course about private label, which is selling your own products on Amazon, creating your own brand. And we were selling furniture at the time. So I decided to look for furniture type related products. So I did some research and found mattress protectors. And with the research that I learned, I thought this looks like a decent opportunity. Let's try this out. So I started going through the information, and they wanted you to source overseas in China. No problem there until I found out the minimum order that they needed was 1,000 units, and it was going to be $10 per unit. That was a good price. But guys, $10,000 on a product that I was not proven at all, had no idea if it was going to sell. For me, that was just crazy, super risky. I had no desire to do that. Wasn't even in the position to do that. I didn't have $10,000 sitting around to kind of roll the dice and hope this works. So I was a little bit frustrated. But then I realized that, hey, let's go to our mattress company. So there's a mattress company here in the Fort Worth area that we were buying mattresses from, and they manufacture them. So I asked the owner, I said, I'm looking to create my own brand of a mattress protector. Would you be willing, or could you create that and make that for me? He said, yeah, we could. However, it would be way more expensive for us to do it than for you just to go down the road to Dallas. There's a wholesale company that sells them. Like, well, wait, I'm trying to do private label. But then I thought, I wonder if they will allow me to take their product and put it in my own package, because a mattress protector is a very generic type product. So I called them up and I said, I explained what I was trying to do, that I wanted to have my own brand of mattress protectors. And I said, can I take your mattress protectors, take it out of its package, and put it into my own package and call it my own product? They're like, yeah, we don't care what you do with it. Holy cow. That just, another light bulb went off in my head. And I thought, oh my goodness, how many people are struggling just like me, are looking at placing a large order from an overseas manufacturer, are nervous, don't have the money, are liquidating their savings account to try to do this thing. How many would love to know this method that I just stumbled upon? I don't believe I stumbled upon it, guys. I believe it was the favor of God. God led me to it. So I told Jim about it again. He said, that's a great idea. Write a book about it. I did. It's called Private Label the Easy Way. Jim promoted it, sold a bunch of copies, and I had no idea it was going to be anything but just a course or just a book until I met Jenny Hunt, my business partner now. in the private label program and then in the Build Your Income Streams program. And with that connection, that relationship, started talking, and we decided, or I asked her, I said, you know what, do you think you could help me take this book and turn it into a course? Because she had done that before. And she says, absolutely, let's do it. We partnered up, and now, guys, we have about 2,400 people in a Facebook group where we teach them how to do private label on Amazon. So the book became a course, and then there's multiple streams that have flown from that, come out from that one piece of content that happened to start just when I made a phone call and found out that one little hack, if you would might say that. So, guys, what is that for you? What tactic have you learned in your business? What strategy have you learned that you've maybe not heard anywhere else, or maybe you have heard somewhere else, and it's okay if you have, but you have a different twist on it, or even just the fact that you're in a different demographic. So, for example, I have folks in my audience that are, all the way from probably, teenagers up to, I have a guy in my Amazon Legends group who's over 80 years old. They're all across the spectrum, male and female. But I really feel like I'm called to serve that dad. I really feel like that I am, I need to reach out to dads. I want to tell them the message of streams of income, that it is possible for them to be able to quit their job, to live their dreams, to spend more time with their family. And I want that for more people. But that doesn't mean I turn people away. However, that does probably mean that there are just certain people that aren't attracted to me. Like there might, that I have ladies in my audience, but it's interesting when I am on a webinar and I'm teaching something, and then we have somebody else come along who maybe is a female, a little bit older, a little bit younger, whatever it is, and they'll say the exact same thing, and people are like, oh, I get it now. Maybe it's just because they needed to hear it a few times, but I think also it has to do with the fact that they identify with that person. So maybe I'm a female and I'm just going to, naturally identify with people who are more like me. If I'm a mom, I'm going to identify with moms. My good friend Honey Woods, who's been on this podcast a couple times now, she can say the exact same thing as me. And some people are just like, I get it now, I understand it, or they see it from her perspective, or because her experience matches up with theirs, they just now get it. Guys, you can say the exact same thing as somebody else, but the fact that it's coming from your mouth will mean that there are going to be certain people that just get it now. They understand it now because you said it that way. You might say it a different way, or you might just attract people in the first place that I would never attract. So even if you started a podcast, you wrote a book about how to create multiple streams of income, do it. Please do it. Because there are so many people out there that need to hear this message, and there is no way in the world I can reach them all. There is no way in the world that I am going to be able to reach everybody that needs to hear this. So if you have a story, of how you've created multiple streams of income and you feel like you're supposed to write a book about it, you're supposed to do a podcast about it, I am here to cheer you on. You tell me how I can help you. I want to get this message out to as many people as possible. And if I can help you be a mouthpiece for that, let's do it. Because again, there are just going to be people that aren't attracted to me, or aren't attracted to because I'm a 40s male. They might think, he's just not my guy. Identify with her more. She's more my age group. So guys, get out there, put your stuff out there. The world needs to hear exactly what you have to say. But let's get over the confidence thing here. I want to just share with you, if you got to listen to episode, it's the one with Kyle Boyer, episode number 37. Kyle is making a full-time income off of his love of paper airplanes. So what I want to do is kind of read through these are membership communities that people have based around their topic. But go back, if you're struggling with this confidence thing at all, go back and listen to episode 37. Where I talk with Kyle Boyer about his love of paper airplanes and how he's turned that into a full-time income. Pretty cool. It'll really help you out a lot. And the title is he created a full-time income from that. So if he can create a full-time income from that, guys, your interest, your passion, there are people that will pay you for it. But listen to some of these just things. I just signed up for the Tribe Experience, a guy named Stu McLaren, who's a master in creating membership sites and creating that recurring income. So one of his first modules is breaking down this barrier and showing you some of the different, you might say odd or weird niches. These aren't all necessarily odd, but just you might not think that there's actually full-time income potential with these things. So there's a gentleman that's doing acoustic guitar lessons and has created a membership site out of this. And these are all membership or recurring revenue type sites. How to start a paint party business. Agility, dog training. Harp practice, so the musical instrument, the harp. Learning about herbs. There's a whole membership site about learning about herbs. That's pretty cool. Homeschool moms community. I'm not surprised about that. I know a lot of homeschool moms. And so this is just a membership site for them to congregate together to learn from each other. And the main mom is the one putting out the content and getting paid for people to be in there and learn from her. Pretty awesome. So you guys have all heard about subscription boxes, the Bark Box for dogs. There's like the Dollar Shave Club for men, all these clothing boxes. Listen to this one, the Taffy subscription box, like the saltwater taffy candy. Somebody put together a Taffy subscription box, and it's a recurring revenue model for them. A fertility program. So for people women who are struggling with infertility, been through that, guys. I understand how painful that is. And I can imagine the type of help folks are able to get in there. That's awesome. Freezer meal planning. So a meal planning site. Youth ministry resources. I looked into this one, and it's a gentleman that just helps youth ministers with sermons. He creates sermons for them to be able to get inspiration from and add their own scriptures to and their own experience to. Another subscription box, the Date Box. So, for your spouse or your loved one, you can subscribe to this Date Box, and they'll send you essentially everything you need for a date in the box. I have no idea what's in there. But, that's an interesting one. And then the last one I have here is an example, weight loss for Christian women. So that's super, super targeted niche. Weight loss is a good one. So guys, listening to this, I want that to give you confidence that if somebody can make a business out of a Taffy subscription box, if somebody can make a business out of how to start a paint party business, then your topic is valuable. There will be people, and you don't need 5 million people to sign up for your subscription. You don't need 5 million people to buy your book, to get into your course. You just, honestly, you need a few hundred. You may, depending on the price point, you may need a lot less than that. So you just need just a group of people who really get behind you, that really feel like, yeah, that's my girl. That's the person that I really feel like I identify with her. That, yeah, Ryan Rieger, he's great about streams of income, and that's a great book. But because, Christy Hertzler in my audience, because she said it, because, Christy Deals, she's been on my podcast before. Awesome lady, sweetheart, one of my best friends. She might come out with something and somebody would say, you know what, because Christy said it, because Christy's dealing with the same health issues I'm dealing with, because she did it, I believe now that I can do it. That's a huge reason to do this. That's a huge reason to step out and do exactly what you're called to do. I can reach just so many people. There's only going to be so many people that relate to me. If you have the exact same message as me, if you created multiple streams of income or whatever the topic is, you've got to get out there and do it. That book that's on your heart, you've got to write it. That course that that you can put together, you've got to do it. And listen to what Jenny and I talk about, because we make it so, we break it down so it's not like, oh my gosh, I got to put in hours and hours and hours of content and then hope it sells. No, we have a cool, super way to launch a course really fast. So feel free to email me about that, and I'll give you more information. It's in our Build Your Income Streams Insiders group, where we teach people these strategies. But guys, get your message out there. It's so super important. There are people waiting on the other side of your obedience. There are people waiting for that message that you have to share with them. And it does not matter how many other people are out there doing it. Let's say that you're a financial coach. You feel like you can help people with their finances. Go into the bookstore. Go into any bookstore and look at the money books that are there. There are tons. If you do that, you might be a little discouraged and think, oh, Tony Robbins is doing it. Dave Ramsey's doing it. Susie Orman's doing it. All these folks are doing it. They already got courses, programs. There's no room for me. That is so not true. There are just going to be people that identify with you compared to those other folks. There is room for you. Just have an abundance mentality, have an abundance mindset about all this stuff. There are so many people that need to learn how to handle their money better. And because of your story, because maybe they identify with you in a certain way, they're going to get it. They're going to take action because of you, because of what you put out, because of your book, because of your course. So get over this. Realize that, your topic is important, that there are people that are into the same thing. So one thing you could do, if you're struggling a little bit at all with, if you feel like, but there may be only 5 other people in the whole world that care about this topic. Well, look at Kyle Boyer with paper airplanes. Holy cow. I would have thought that would not be something that you could make a full-time income from, but I would have been wrong. That's a really cool example, but just search on Facebook. Look for Facebook groups. And Jenny and I have done this in our groups here. Look for Facebook groups related to that thing you're interested in, and just look at the engagement in there. Look at how many people are in some of those groups. You'll be surprised. We found a group for Instapot recipes of 2 million plus people in it. We found a group for all about knitting. So if you're into knitting, there's a group for you, probably multiple groups for you. So to get over this thing about, there's not anybody else that cares about this, there's nobody that would pay me money for this, start looking at Facebook groups. Just go to facebook.com, click on groups over on the left under Explore, and start typing in some keywords of your niche, that thing that you're interested in, and you'll see that there are other people that are interested. Or look at magazines. Are there magazines about that topic? Are there blogs about this topic? If there are, guys, then that is a clear answer that yes, there are people that are willing to pay for this type of information. And there is absolutely no reason why you couldn't be one of those voices providing that help that they need. So, okay, let's say that you got it. You're like, okay, Ryan, I get it now. I can do this, and that there are people willing to pay me for it, that mine is not so odd as a taffy subscription box, that I believe that there are people that want to hear from me, that want my information, that you do have something valuable. Where do you start? What do you do? Well, I would start going into those Facebook groups that you found and start serving. Start answering questions. Look for people that have the problems that you can solve and answer those problems. If they ask questions, just answer them in a great way. And the magic of this is that people will find you. They will stalk you. They will private message you. Just the other day, Jenny posted in one of the groups that she's in. It's a Women Helping Women Entrepreneur group. And it's a larger group of about 200,000 plus women in there. And she asked them, how many of you have multiple streams of income, and how many do you have? And she's over 500 comments in there now. Now, a lot of them are just like, yeah, 1, 2, 3, and they answered a number. But a ton of them are asking her for more information, because she explained a little bit more in her comments how many she had and what she does. And people are saying, teach me, tell me about that. The same thing I promise will happen to you. This is what we're teaching inside our Build Your Income Streams Insiders group. I'll put a link for the show notes in there. But people will stalk you. They'll say, oh my gosh, that Christy is really helpful. I want to know more about that. They'll private message you, ask for more information, and then you have an opportunity to engage with them. Send them to your book, send them to your course, your Facebook group, whatever you have. But just take action. Go find those people that you want to serve. And you can do, what's so beautiful about this, guys, is none of these strategies we talk about are things that we're going to say, you need to liquidate everything in your savings account and then hope that this works. That you're going to need to go out and spend thousands of dollars to write a book. You can write a book for free. Take some time, but it doesn't cost you anything to do this. You can publish on Kindle Direct Publishing, totally free to do that. So none of these strategies really cost any money. You can try these out very, very risk-free with no money at all. Go into Facebook groups, find the folks that are your people, who you think you are going to identify with the most, who are going to identify with you the most, and start serving them. Listening to the questions that they have. This is valuable information for you, especially if you're thinking about writing a book or creating a course, because you can take that information that you're learning from them to craft it. So instead of saying, you know what, I think that people in this position are interested in this, and this, these are what the chapters would be. We would go this direction in a course. You can do that, but wouldn't it be better if you listened to your customers first and they pretty much tell you exactly what they need, and you can create a perfect product that answers their exact question? And this is what you can do inside of Facebook groups. You can even create your own Facebook group around your topic, and people will start coming. If you keyword it the right way, people are searching on Facebook for help. They're searching in Facebook for groups to be a part of. So like for this weight loss for Christian women group, you could call it exactly that, weight loss for Christian women. And people would be typing in weight loss and they would find that group, especially if there's a decent amount of engagement in there. The great thing about this is Facebook will say, hey, this might be a group that you might be interested in. They might even suggest it on the right-hand side of the page. People will find you and they will ask to join, and you can serve them. And so that's what's so fun about this. It doesn't cost anything. It's easy to do. And you get a whole lot of benefits of blessing people and seeing their success stories. All right, so that's where I would start. I would find there's so many places that your audience can live and be at right now, but Facebook groups are a great way, and it's a free way to serve them and learn from them. But let's say that you are just not sure what that thing is, that you are really intrigued by this whole idea of creating an income from something that you're interested in, something that you're passionate about. But let's say you're one of those, and it's okay if you are, that you're just not sure what that is. Like, yeah, I have some interest, but I don't think that would be valuable. Well, first of all, what I would say is take some of those and start looking for groups and see if there are people in those types of niches that are, asking questions that you can answer. So explore it that way. But let's say you're just not sure. So let me ask you some questions. If you're still thinking, what in the world would people pay me for? And guys, I was there, and it's okay to be in this position because you know that, yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome to create multiple streams of income from something I'm interested in. But what is that? So here's some questions. Just think about these right now. What are you interested in? It doesn't matter what it is, right? I mean, if it's sports, great, put that in there. If it's hockey, whatever, handball, I don't care. Think about these things. Maybe even write these down as I'm talking to you. Grab a piece of paper, get your phone out, go to the notes section of your iPhone or Android and start typing in some things that just come to mind. There's no right or wrong answers here. What are you interested in? Number 2, what can you talk about for hours without notes? If people just talk to you about something, when they ask you questions about this topic, you can just go on and on and on and on because you know this stuff. What is that for you? All right, next, what do people ask your help for? When people ask for your advice, what is it? What's that topic? They're always coming to you for that advice. All right, number 4, what do you do in your free time? What do you enjoy doing? What's fun for you? How awesome would it be to be able to make an income from something that you love to do? It's fun for you, and it doesn't even feel like work. Okay. When do you find the time flying by? You do this thing, and it's just like, wow, holy cow, 2 hours went, and I didn't even realize how fast it went. And then what would you spend your time doing if money weren't important? A lot of these are kind of the same type of question, but they're coming out from a different angle. What would you spend your time doing if money weren't important? Again, no right or wrong answers here. Everything, this is a brainstorming session. Think about these, write down whatever it is. All right, once you have your list, and this is homework. I want you guys to do this. If you are struggling with what would people pay me to do, go through these again. What are you interested in? What can you talk about for hours? What do people ask your help or advice for? What do you do in your free time? When do you find the time flying by? And what would you spend your time doing if money weren't important? Write these down. Whatever comes to your mind. It does not matter at this point. Totally just brainstorming. And then go through the list and look for themes. Look for which ones jump out at you? Which ones just feel right? Which ones do you think just pop off the page for you? Start doing some research. So yes, you might be interested in this thing, but let's find if people are actually, if there's a niche for that, if there's other people interested in it, and do what I just said earlier. Go and look for Facebook groups for your topic. If hockey is your thing, you love to talk about hockey, find Facebook hockey groups. Is there a place for you in these groups to serve people? What questions do people have? I mean, something that comes to mind easily, like if you are a sports lover, whatever the sport is, there is a way you could easily take that passion for it. Let's say you love coaching kids hockey, And, typically you do it with your son's team, or you coach soccer or baseball or basketball or whatever it is. You do that, in person. Why not create a course about it? How to teach your kid hockey skills, how to teach them how to play soccer. There's all these dads, like I'm not a soccer dad. I don't, my son's only 3 years old. I love to play basketball. I can't wait till he's old enough to do that. But let's say he really loves soccer. I'm lost. I have no clue how to teach him how to play soccer. Where am I going to go? Well, I probably could find somebody locally for sure. But, let's say that I want to do it online and be able to learn some skills, teach him myself, because I want to be the guy that teaches him. Well, I'm going to have to find somebody that can teach me. I'm going to have to look for some videos or for some training. Why couldn't you provide that? Why couldn't that be something that you provide online that I go to and I pay you to teach me how to teach my son how to play soccer? At least some of the basic stuff. So why not? There are courses I guarantee there's courses online right now. I haven't even looked at this up. I haven't looked it up at all, but go online right now, if whatever your topic is, and look for an online course. And just look and see if there are people doing the same thing. And it's okay if there's 500, you see 500 different people doing the same thing. It doesn't matter. It's like I said before, because it's comes from you and your voice, there are just going to be certain people that are attracted to you. Or you may just do a better job of, creating a page. You may have better content. And just because of that reason, people are going to be more attracted to you. So go through this list, look for pages already out there, look for Facebook groups dealing with these topics, and which ones kind of jump to the top as the ones that you might feel like are the ones to at least explore. Not saying go out and write a book about it yet or create a course yet. Just explore which ones seem to have the most people interested, the most questions that you can answer, the most problems that you can solve, and just start there. All right. And so let's say also that you just aren't sure. None of these, these things you've written down some stuff, but just doesn't feel right. You're not sure. Ask somebody. Ask a friend, ask a family member, ask your spouse. Say, what am I good at? Ask them these questions for you and have them write down the answers, because it's so hard sometimes, guys, to read our own label. I've said this before. Brian Dixon was on my podcast and mentioned this, and I've used it a lot since then, hearing him say that, because it's awesome. We cannot read our own label. We're so, just inside ourselves that we can't see all the time objectively. We can't see what other people see. So ask other people, what am I good at? What do you feel like, is my thing? What's that interest that I have that you feel like other people would be interested in and pay me for? Just ask them these questions. They'll tell you. And that's great advice. That's great wisdom. And start taking those topics and start exploring those. Is there a market for that? Are people paying for that? Are there Facebooks around that topic? So guys, that's what I would do. I would start to just go through those questions, start writing those things down. But I promise you that there are people out there that want to pay for that thing that you have, for that topic that you're interested in, that topic that you're passionate about. Take steps for that. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to have it all figured out to take action. As I say, with action comes clarity. As you start taking those steps, start exploring those Facebook groups, start reaching out to those influencers in those areas, follow other influencers in those areas. What are they doing? What can you tweak? What can you take inspiration from? How can you do it better than them? You'll find your place. You will. There are people that need exactly what you have to say. There are people that need that book that you're going to write, that need that course that you're going to create. But you've got to take action, and don't try to, please don't try to figure it all out at once. Just start exploring, go down these roads, knock on some doors, and you'll find your way. You'll find your people. You'll find that audience that needs you. And then you're going to start listening to them, and they'll tell you exactly what you need, or exactly what they need rather. And you'll be able to create it. And they'll think, oh my God, he's a genius. She's a genius. She knows exactly what I needed. And it's because you were listening to them, and you brought them the exact product that they needed. So I hope that's been helpful for you. And if you're still stuck, I love brainstorming with folks. I have what I call a clarity call. I'll put a link to the show notes. This is episode number 42, where I'll get on a one-on-one Zoom call with you. We'll go through the ABC process. So we'll go through all of your assets. What's your interest? What's your knowledge? Do you belong to some Facebook groups already? Do you have a Facebook group? Do you have an email list? If not, that's okay too. Doesn't matter. We all start somewhere. We'll look at all your assets, and then we'll look at, we'll brainstorm. We'll brainstorm all the possible ways that we can come up with of ways to monetize that thing that you're interested in. And then, it might feel like you're drinking from a fire hose, because we may come up with 25 or 50 ideas pretty easily of things you could do, but I'm not going to leave you there, because that would be overwhelming and you wouldn't take action. So let's then boil it down to, what are the top 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 things that you can do right now to start moving in that direction, and will help you take action. So that's my clarity call. I'd love for you to get on one of those with me. If you feel like you need some extra help, you just want to bounce some ideas off of me, I love that type of stuff. It's so super fun for me to do that. And that'll be in the link the link will be in the show notes. Go to streamsofincomeradio.com. This is episode 42, streamsofincomeradio.com, episode 42. Guys, I hope this served you well. This is something I just have had my heart. I know I've talked a lot about some of this stuff before, but not in this exact way. I want you to have confidence that you can do it, that there are people that need what you have. And so you've got to take action. Let me help you do that. If you're kind of stuck on some of these things, not sure what to do, go into the Build Your Income Streams group that Ginny and I have. I'll have a link in the show notes as well, streamsofincomeradio.com, but you can get a $1 trial, 30 days, try out the group. You're going to love it, because it's an awesome supportive community. We want to cheer you on, help you move to that place where you're creating content and getting paid for it. But guys, thank you for listening again. I love you, appreciate you. Subscribe to this podcast. That helps me out a ton. Let me know how I can help you. My email is ryan@ryanrieger.com. Feel free to send me email questions, concerns that you have, and we'll see you on the next episode.
You've been listening to Streams of Income with self-help author Ryan Rieger. From right here in the Dallas Metroplex, Ryan teaches several entrepreneurial courses and group coaching programs to students all over the world. Be sure to listen next week at the same time for Streams of Income with Ryan Rieger.